Hey friend, in this video, I am going to be showing you how to paint a bearded iris with watercolor ink. So watercolor ink is a medium that I've been loving to experiment with because it blooms very, very explosively. It's extremely rich and bold and vibrant in color, and it's just fun to kind of play around with a few different brands and mixtures and combinations of these beautiful water-based inks. So if you're ready to learn how to paint a vibrant bearded iris in watercolor ink, then let's dive in. So for the bearded iris watercolor tutorial, I'm going to be using a combination of filbert brushes and my round Heritage 4050 brushes from Princeton. I'm using a combination of Daler Rowney Aquafine watercolor inks and Winsor Newton watercolor inks. So I'm going to take my biggest round brush that I have, my size 16 round brush, and load it up with water. If there's a little bit of color to this water, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm just laying down a very soppy, wet wash for where my petals on the iris will be. And keep in mind that this is kind of like a ballerina or flamenco dancer skirt. So we've got some flow with this wavy texture on the outside of the petals. And so I'm kind of just swirling my brush around. And then I'm going to take this blue watercolor ink, and this blue just loves to run for it when it hits water. So it's really fun to watch and play with. And I'm kind of pulling up these streaks or veins in the petals here and there with the blue and pink later on in the top petal, but you don't want to plan this out or overthink it. This is kind of just where you let the watercolor ink have fun running around and doing its thing. And then, little trick, you can flip your brush upside down and use the base of the handle of your brush to get these really thin kind of veins in your petals. This is going to give you really fine lines. Now this orange color tangerine from Winsor & Newton watercolor inks is going to pop right in the middle, and it's not spreading super well on the left edge of this petal because it's a huge puddle of water. So I'm just moving that around with my brush and kind of mixing that in. And then I want to pop in this slate gray that I have with some white gouache, some blue, and a little bit of black and purple in this mixture, and I'm just going to mix that in a little bit to bring in a more subtle tone with all of these really bright, vibrant colors. Making sure to leave some of it not messed with so that it kind of blends and bleeds on its own, and pulling out some of those thin vein lines with that gray as well. Now, watercolor ink has a whole mind of its own, so it's really an exercise in just letting go and letting that ink spread and do its thing. If you mess with it too much, I find that it just kind of creates a muddy mess. So try and leave things to do what they want to do, like this deep blue. If you're wondering what exact colors I'm using, not all of them are straight from the bottle. I actually like to mix and match brands together to get the right hue that I like. So play around with that and play around with a few different brands. I like I said, Daler Rowney Aquafine and Winsor Newton brand of watercolor inks, and just kind of getting the hues that I like. So now I'm mixing in some purple so we can kind of bridge the gap between blue and pink. Since those are sitting on opposite ends of the flower, I want to bridge that gap in the color spectrum by adding in some purple. Next, I'm going to mix up some sap green and some yellow ochre watercolor ink. The sap green is just watercolor from Winsor & Newton, and then the yellow ochre is a watercolor ink from Winsor & Newton. And I am going to paint in the stem. I like to start with mostly water on my brush with just a little hint of the color so that I can have it kind of like it's fading in the background behind the flower. So the flower is the focal point, the stem is kind of a background element. And then same thing, I'm going to crisscross over with another stem where I'm going to put a little bud. So we're laying down water only. There is a little bit of color on my brush, which is totally fine. because we're gonna drop in that color. So I've got yellow ochre being dropped in with watercolor ink at the base, and then I'm gonna drop in this pink color. This pink is really magical and loves to spread and kind of takes off once it hits the water. And some orange bits, maybe a darker accent with this reddish violet color. So it's all about play with watercolor inks. You want to think about just letting go and experimenting and seeing what happens on the paper. Some colors react differently to other colors when you combine them together or you layer on top. So just all I have to say as a recommendation is to actually just try it out and paint and see what happens, because you won't know how it's going to react. And sometimes it'll react differently once than it will the next time you use it. So now I'm putting in another little iris in the bottom left corner, kind of overlapping these two stems. They felt a little too much like they were sticking their neck out a little bit. So I wanted to add another iris kind of overlapping those stems. And punching in the orange tangerine color in the center to create a little bit of that stamen area in the flower. Some more of that purpley brown gray. Just kind of sweeping up the flower. Now punching in some other varieties of color, blue. Loving how that purple is spreading into these other colors and sitting on top. And then dropping in some more blue to bring in that bluish violet color to tie in those blues. And the purple on top of the yellow green is a really nice touch, because purple and yellow are contrasting colors, so that yellow undertone in the green is being pulled out or accented a lot more because that purple sitting on top. Just swooping around and adding some movement with these veins along the flower, especially on the lighter petal. Then I want to go back up to this top flower and drop in some more orange. It did have a mind of its own, however, and kind of take over. So I'm gonna drop it in and then kind of soak it up before it dries, just to leave it a little bit more subtle. Maybe put in some veins before soaking it up. And then just using a dry brush to soak it up. And then at this stage, I'm just dropping in some more pink on the top because I want to smooth out some of the color variations that I had going on and just make it a little bit more solid, which is so beautiful about watercolor because you can continue to layer and layer, especially while something you're underneath painting is still wet. Dropping in some more of that purple in the blue area, just to give that a little bit more of a punch. It's really starting to come together, and I'm just gonna go right where the top petals and the base petal meet and kind of cup that middle top petal with this darker blue color. So kind of accentuate that curve or the base of that top petal to show separation. And I'm dropping in some pink to kind of merge or blend it in with the purple underpainting. And cleaning up those lines with a damp brush. Next, we've got our green mixture for our stem here in the little bottom left corner, and maybe some leaves poking around. Love how that bleed happened between the leaf and the petal that was still wet. So we're gonna poke in a few more leaves. Maybe accentuate some of these curves in our flower, using pressure and release of pressure with the brush to get this fat to thin element of our strokes. And dropping in some of the green on this leaf and stem. Pulling out a darker color, putting in a shadow on that leaf to add some depth, and that's looking nice. Another high point up here on the right, with the highest point being on the left, and a big open area of negative space in the right corner that I'm partly filling up with a leaf. And I think that about does it. We're ready to put the brushes down and call it a day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you enjoyed painting with watercolor inks if this was your first time. If this wasn't your first time, then I hope you still had fun. Make sure you check out all the other resources that we have on this channel. If you're new to watercolor, check out the Complete Beginner's Guide to Watercolor. I also have a free floral watercolor ebook that you can download in the link below. And then all of my books, Everyday Watercolor series books. I have Everyday Watercolor Flowers, and then my book, Everyday Watercolor Oceans, and my sketchbook are also available for pre-order and will be out very soon. So make sure you check those out, and I will see you in the next tutorial.